And welcome to Utah. When it went into deciding where you were going to play next, what were the reasons why the Mammoth were the right choice for you?
Yeah, I think after speaking to my agent and family and going through the whole process, it's an exciting time to be in Utah. I think there's a great young group of core players here with the Mammoth. The ownership group, the desire to be good and to be good now is huge. I think I remember coming into play in Utah for the first time last year, and I remember how great it was. I mean, the surroundings. City itself and also the fans. Getting to play in that building was awesome. The energy, the excitement was there. It seems like they're some of the best fans in the National Hockey League, and for me, I felt like it was a great fit. I had worked with Bear last summer at the World Championship, so I got to know him and understand him as a coach in person, and he's a phenomenal coach and an even better person. And I'm excited to get to be a part of this group and to get to into Utah and meet everyone and get to work.
Belle Fraser with Salt Lake Tribune.
Hi, Brandon. Welcome to Utah. Obviously, you said it, a pretty young team. You're going to quickly be one of the veterans. What can Utah fans expect from you, on the ice, but also in terms of leadership?
Yeah, I think I've been able to play for quite a while now and understand who I am as a player and my identity and my role. I play a pretty 200-foot game. I'm physical. I bring a lot of energy. I harp and like to do the little things throughout the game. And like I mentioned, there's so many good young players on this team, and being a part of that is going to be great. Being an older guy, try to help them in aspects of the game, but at the same time, just be a great teammate in the locker room around these guys. I've heard nothing but great things about everybody, about the organization, the team, all the players. So I can't wait to get down, to be a part of this group, to get to work and start the season.
Cole Bagley, KSL Sports.
Brandon, congratulations on the new signing and welcome to Utah. I was just curious, and a lot of fans were as well. If you could kind of just explain your incredible headshots every year, what goes into that?
To be honest with you, it's really tough to explain. They just came about years ago in Pittsburgh. I honestly think it was 6 years ago. It just happened I guess, to occur or happen during our media day, and the picture kind of went viral, and it's everyone enjoyed it, and so it's one of those things where I mean, hockey's such an intense sport. It's very serious, and we obviously take our jobs and what we do, at the highest level, and you got to be on point all the time. And it's one of those things where it just kind of took off. It was funny, and it's a lighthearted thing, and fans and younger generations of kids growing up playing hockey, kind of got into it. So it's one of those things that where I didn't expect to be even do it. I didn't see the picture until it happened afterwards, and then it caught so much traction. So it's nice to kind of do it every year and have some fun with it in a sense.
I tell you, you're already really popular because of those in Utah. They're already going viral around here, so keep it going.
Will do.
Brogan Houston, Deseret News.
Hey Brandon, welcome to Utah. I'm just wondering who on the team you already know and maybe what those conversations looked like with those other guys in deciding to sign here or after you signed, like who's kind of reached out and told you what you need to know so far.
Well, Clayton reached out right away and wanted to welcome me, which is great. He's such a great player and a great leader. So I'm excited to get down there and meet him. I trained with Sean Dursey in the summertime and have for the past couple years. So Sean's a good friend of mine, great player, even better person. So when he found out I was signing in Utah, he texted me right away. Smiles. I saw him today. Big hug at the gym. So it's nice to know some familiar faces. And I worked and played with Johnny Marino in Pittsburgh many years ago. Johnny was young, coming league into his first year, and Johnny and I have a great friendship. He actually called me not too long ago today, and we spoke for 20-30 minutes catching up and in that sense. So it's been great. There's so many people have reached out to me and excited, and equally as for me, I'm very excited to get down to Utah, meet everyone, be a part of this great organization and get the ball rolling here.
Caleb Turner, KSL.com.
Hey Brandon, thanks for your time today. This Utah team has playoff aspirations this year, and I'm just curious in your experience with different teams, what have you noticed about what it takes to make a playoff team versus those that don't make the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean the playoffs is every team's goal. At the start of the season, you get into the playoff and you get to compete for the Stanley Cup, and that's everyone's desire to win the Stanley Cup when you're playing this game at the highest level. I think playing in the playoffs, it's different. The game changes. Every detail, every play, every little thing matters, and I think the intensity and how the game is played at that time of the year is heightened, and your team and everyone involved, everyone's doing every little thing, to get that block shot, to make that play, to put the puck into the net. It's one of those things where it's you're all in the momentum of the games, the energy of the crowds, the buildings. It's so much fun to be playing at that time of the year, and I think that's what we want to be doing. We want to be playing playoff hockey, playing at the right time, playing to win. I think this is a great group. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of great young players on this team. There's some older guys that have had some experience elsewhere. Nate Schmidt obviously joining us as well, and Stanley Cup champion this year with Florida Panthers. So he understands what it takes to be at that time of the year and to win ultimately. So there's a great group here we have in Utah, and I think it's just going to be working together as a team. Understanding our identities within the team, competing as a team, working through adversity as a team, and being excited to come to the rink every day.
Chase Beardsley with the Hockey Writers.
Hey Brandon, congrats on the deal and welcome to Utah. I was just wondering if you obviously played with the Jets and the Kraken last year and you played Utah a lot. I was wondering what you noticed on the other side of the ice that maybe kind of compelled you to sign with Utah.
I think it's there's such a desire to win. I think the ownership group, that was their goal when the team was coming to Utah. We want to be a team competing at the right time of the year, pushing to play in the playoffs and winning a Stanley Cup. This group, like I've mentioned, and here is a great group. There's a ton of young talent that understands, how to play the game the right way. There's a great coaching staff, and I've gotten to work with the head coach Bear and understand, what he expects and wants from his team. And it's one of those things where you're lucky to be a part of this group. You're excited to be a part of this group, and you can't wait to get down to Utah to meet everyone. To see the fans, the excitement, the energy that they bring. I remember playing there this year when I was in Winnipeg, and it was one of those places where it was exciting. Everyone didn't know what to expect because we hadn't been there yet, and it was one of those things where we got onto the ice and saw how great the crowd was, how the atmosphere was, and the energy of the building was unmatched. It was a great time, so I can't wait to get down there.
Brogan Houston.
What do you feel like you bring off the ice in terms of like being an X factor or kind of being one of those guys that keeps everybody light? Are you kind of one of those guys?
Yeah, I'm an energetic guy. I'm very personable. I like to chat with the boys and keep things light when the time is right, and that's at the same time when it's an understanding to get to work and and be in those moments where we need to zone in and stuff like that. But I mean, when I walk around the locker room, I like to be fun. I like to be cordial. I like to have a smile on my face, and that's what's great about coming to a new team, meeting so many different guys, new personalities, and just come in there and enjoy being a part of this group.
Cole Bagley.
Brandon, what kind of mentoring do you feel like you can provide? As you stated, this is a pretty young team, and you coming in definitely feels like you'll be able to fulfill more of a veteran role.
Yeah, I've been able to play for quite a while now, and I had some great older guys and veterans when I was first coming into the league, and understanding what it takes to be playing at the right time, and so I can use those experience that some of my old teammates and friends passed down to me. But I think these guys, despite their age, they've been in the league for so many years and understand what it takes to win at this level. And I think me being an older guy is just going to be able to be leaned on if questions need to be asked, but at the right time, push the pace. Understand our identity as a group and what will make us successful going into games, and just having fun. I think at the end of the day, it's all about winning games and playing at the right time. But I think having a great group of guys and teammates around the rink make things a lot easier. So when you have that and you have fun around the rink with your teammates and everyone a part of the organization, it also makes coming to the rink that much more enjoyable. And that's what we want to have. We want to have a great atmosphere and a great environment and leading onto the ice.
Back to Bell.
Brandon, what did the next few weeks or months look like for you logistically getting out here? And I don't know if your family had any thoughts about, a move to Utah. That's kind of a lesser known market, what they're expecting.
No, I think, speaking to my family and everyone, everyone is extremely excited. I think they're already looking at the schedule, trying to find dates that will work to come down. I mean, it's a busy summer. I mean, like it always is. I feel like time flies by. It's already July 1st, and we're only a couple months away, from the season. But for me, it's just going to be get down there, trying to figure things out, and hope to get down there at some point in time this summer if I can to kind of get the facilities and that stuff. But for me, it's focus on training, being around friends and family right now in Toronto, and then when the time to come down to Utah and work, it's time. But right now, it's training, being around friends and family, enjoying some summertime, but at the same time, getting ready and being extremely excited for new beginnings for me, and I can't wait to get down to Utah.
Last question to Chase Beardsley.
I know across your career, you've been a big advocate for the mental health side of things of hockey, especially during your stops in Winnipeg and Seattle. Is that something you plan on doing in Utah as well? And why does that mean so much to you specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no matter what you do, whether it's play hockey or you do something else. I mean, when someone needs what help, mental health, I think friends, family, or whoever it is, I think it's great to be around, to be a resource to help every individual in that sense. I think life is not an easy thing, right? There's so many ups and downs and adversity throughout those things. And when you have great people around you, friends, family, teammates, whomever it is, and it's you can't be shy to reach out to individuals and ask for help. I mean, it's one of those things where maybe you don't want to do it, but at the same time, it's so fulfilling and rewarding to ask for that help if needed be, and what better resources than your family, your friends, in our case, our teammates, it could be your coworkers, whoever you seek to help is always going to be in those positions to try to do it. And I'd love to continue that. For me, it's one of those things where you kind of got taken to it my first couple years in Winnipeg, and you never want to not be involved in situations like that with mental health. So I'd love to be a part of it and to help anybody who's in situations.